Welcome to the Bright Dharma YouTube channel. My name is Marjolein Jansen. Today an introduction to the Four Brahmavihārās. So the Four Brahmavihārās are four qualities of heart and mind that we all already have to a certain degree and that we all can cultivate and deepen. And they are loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. These four qualities are considered to be some of the highest and most noble qualities that we can cultivate. The word Brahmavihārā is a Pali word. Pali is the language in which some of the Buddhist scriptures were written down in. Brahma literally means God or divine. Vihara means abode or dwelling place. So we could say that Brahmavihārā literally means divine abode. So the four divine abodes. And sometimes it's also translated with the four immeasurables. And luckily, the ancient text gives us ways to cultivate them. And we don't have to have already a boundless heart full of kindness or compassion to start with. We gradually develop these wholesome qualities of mind and heart. And through this gradual development, they will become a stronger force in our lives. When we are walking this path of cultivating meditation and cultivating these four Brahmavihārās, then at some point our hearts and minds can be transformed to a degree that these four qualities are our natural response to life. And we might not respond with that much reactivity, anger, or frustration anymore, and instead our default response is to care and to be kind and compassionate towards ourselves and others. So these qualities have the power to transform our minds and hearts, and they lead to a greater sense of happiness and well-being, even when they are not our natural response to life just yet. So it may be a lifelong journey to develop these, and it will require some effort, practice, and patience. And the four Brahmavihārās are working together. In a way, they are dependent on each other. And loving kindness is often seen as the foundation of the other ones. So let's take a look at each of the qualities, and we'll start with loving kindness. And after I've talked a bit about each of them, I will explain the basic practice to develop these beautiful heart qualities. So loving kindness. The Pali word for loving kindness is Mettā. And Mettā is a state of mind and heart that is characterized by warmth and open-heartedness. It is a feeling of benevolence towards all beings. And the ultimate aim is to be able to feel this benevolence towards both the beings that we like and also the beings that we don't like as much, the difficult people or beings in our life. And this can be a challenge. It's often not that easy to feel kindness towards someone who we truly dislike, or someone who we know harms others or harms us. So it can therefore be useful to get started with beings that are easy for us. Often that can include loved ones or dear friends. And we also can develop Mettā for ourselves. And depending on our personal conditioning, it can be difficult to develop Mettā for ourselves. For example, if we have a strong pattern of self-hatred, it's not that easy to be kind towards ourselves. And it might take quite some effort and patience to get to a place of genuine care and kindness for ourselves. But it's a worthwhile process to start loving ourselves more and more. So now let's take a look at compassion. The Pali word is Karuṇā. And compassion is a quality of heart and mind that is characterized by feeling a deep care when we are faced with suffering, the suffering of others or our own suffering. And it goes together with a wish to help alleviate that suffering. A compassionate heart is a kind and caring heart, and it's not like pity, which can be accompanied by feelings of discomfort or distance. When we experience compassion, Karuṇā, then we feel a close and intimate connection with the suffering of others and a deep commitment to helping them, while also staying in balance and in a state of warmth and love ourselves. So we don't drown in other suffering. It's quite the opposite. Through our balanced and caring and loving attitude, can we be a real support for those who suffer. And you can imagine that if we sink away in despair and suffering ourselves, that it's not so effective to support others. But if we stay balanced and our heart stays open and caring, then we can truly be of service to others. Then the third Brahmavihārā, that is sympathetic joy. In Pali it's called Muditā. This is the quality of being able to rejoice in the happiness and success of others. It involves celebrating the good fortune that others have. And often we might feel envy or jealousy when others have success or good fortune. And maybe especially when we don't really like that other person. But the quality of Muditā is going against the grain and celebrates the good fortune that others experience. Whatever good fortune that might be. It can be material like wealth, but also things like a promotion. And it can also be a spiritual or an emotional balance or growth that someone might experience. It is a genuine and selfless happiness for the well-being of others. Muditā can help to cultivate a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the blessings in other people's lives. And it can promote a sense of interconnectedness and harmony with others. It can also help to counteract difficult emotions such as envy, jealousy, and greed. We can come across these difficult emotions like envy and jealousy. And this is perfectly normal, and it's part of the practice, part of the healing process that we all go through when we start to cultivate these qualities of heart and mind. And when we do cultivate it, then this beautiful quality of heart and mind will start to dissolve the difficulties that we encounter. And the Dalai Lama once said, and this is a number of years ago, there are 6 billion people in the world. If you can share joy in the good things that happen to others, your chances of being joyful are increased by 6 billion. And there are even more people on the planet right now, so our chances of being joyful are even increased. And so the fourth and last Brahmavihārā is equanimity. In Pali, it's called Upekkhā. Upekkhā is the quality of staying balanced and equanimous in the face of all experiences. The easy experience, the positive experiences, and also the difficult ones and the negative ones that we don't want. It's a very peaceful state of being. We are not so swayed by the ups and downs of life when we are in an equanimous state of mind and heart. And when we are equanimous, then we are aware that there is suffering in the world, and our hearts are open and resonant with suffering. But we realize that other people's suffering and happiness are within our circle of concern, but often outside of our sphere of influence. And realizing this can help us to not get out of balance when we encounter suffering or happiness in the world. We stay balanced, at ease with whatever is happening. It is something that requires training and practice. And when we practice this beautiful heart quality, we might encounter difficulty. We might actually feel out of balance. We might feel angry or disappointed. That's all part of the process and the healing to go through. Cultivating each of these qualities is actually truly a healing process, since this practice can often bring about difficult emotions and feelings. It will bring up that what is not in line with these divine abodes yet. And it might bring up anger, fear, ill will, jealousy, and other difficult emotions. And it's good to know that when it happens, that these difficult emotions arise, that it actually means that the practice is working. So let's talk a little bit about the practice now. The practice of each of these Brahmavihāras can be done by reciting phrases or wishes. And what we do is we are with our attention on our heart center in the middle of our chest. and we extend this attention to another being, a person or an animal. It can be a loved one, a friend, a pet, it can be ourselves, it can be a stranger, it can be someone we like, someone we don't like. But I recommend to start with beings, people, or animals that feel easy to us, that it's easy to feel a benevolent feeling towards. And not to start with people who we don't like as much. So once we feel that we are easily generating these Brahmavihāras for these easy people, then we can always start to incorporate more difficult beings. But let's start with the easy ones. And each of these Brahmavihāras has their own phrases, their own wishes that we can use to cultivate these specific states of heart and mind. And I don't want to go into too much detail in this video on each, but just give you some examples. For Mettā, or loving kindness, we can use phrases such as, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. For Karuṇā, or compassion, we can use phrases like, may you be free from suffering, or I care about your suffering. For Muditā, sympathetic joy, we can use phrases like, I'm happy for your happiness, or may your good fortune continue, may it grow. And for Upekkhā, equanimity, we can use, I wish you happiness, and I can make your choices for you. Or, may you view the comings and goings of things with equanimity. So to give you a brief taste of this practice, let's try a couple of phrases for Mettā, loving kindness. So if that sounds good to you to try this out right now, then you can close your eyes for a moment. Focus your attention on your heart area in the center of your chest. And now call to mind a dear being, maybe a loved one or a dear friend. And from this heart center, you can wish this dear being, may you be happy. And you silently repeat this wish in your mind with your attention on this being. May you be happy. And then you can wish them another wish. May you live with ease from your heart. May you live with ease. And now let this person fade to the background. And feel into the heart area. Just tune into what it feels like there after wishing this dear person well. And it could be anything. It could be a feeling of well-wishing, a feeling of benevolence. And there could be some purification coming up. Maybe some anger or some frustration or whatever it is. And either way is fine. There's no right or wrong. And just to note what is happening. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes again. And in this way, we can practice this practice of Mettā. We can also practice it for ourselves. And we can just say, may I be happy. And we can direct it towards our own being. And as we go about our day, we can take a moment or two here and there to send some well wishes to people we encounter or to ourselves. Or when we start a meditation session, we can start with some well wishes. And we can even dedicate a whole meditation session to the cultivation of one of these Brahmavihāras. I hope that this video has been of use to you. And if so, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more information on meditation and Buddhism. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. May you be well.